BBC Classics has just released the CD Cello at the Opera, a beautiful album filled with some wonderful classical tracks. It's the work of my next guest, cellist Sally Maer, and she's on the line right now. Sally, nice to have you with us today.
Oh, thanks very much for having me on. It's nice to be here.
What a lovely album.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really enjoyed making it. It's like all my favourite opera music. And I'm a great one for pinching a good song and playing it on the cello. I love doing that.
There is something about the cello I just love. I play piano, but with the cello, it's, what can I say? It's plaintive, it's got character, it talks to you. It does all of those things. And your interpretation of these songs, I'm going to play Nessa Dorman afterwards, and your interpretation of these is just gorgeous, it really is.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think, what you mentioned about the cello, I think that's often a lot of people's reaction when anyone talks about the cello. People will often say, oh, that's my favourite instrument, or I love the cello. And I think it really resonates with so many different people. I think it's a lot of people's favourite instrument, and it's certainly mine. I've been really lucky, as I started playing when I was really little, that I picked an instrument that I really fell for.
Was that the age of 7?
It was really young. It was at 4.
Oh, you were 4, were you? Goodness.
Yeah, I was really tiny, and I had a tiny little cello. And
did you?
My parents were quite alarmed because they didn't know what to do, and I asked to play the cello, and I think there was a little boy that I was friends with at kindy, and he was going off to learn, and I tagged along with him.
Did you?
I think that's when it started.
And that was the start for you? Yeah.
That was the start.
And this was over in the UK, wasn't it? You went after that to the Royal Academy, didn't you?
That's right. Not straight after.
No, not at the age of 4. You were about 17, older. I read. 17, I think, yes.
That's right, yeah. And, I think like anyone, you work really hard at your instrument, and you just hope that you're going to be able to do something that you really enjoy doing. And I think in any profession, that's all you can hope for. So I've been really lucky, and these days I have quite a mixture of playing and teaching, which is my other big passion. And this morning, actually, I just finished some preschool classes I do once a week for toddlers and babies, and that's another great love of mine. And sometimes they get to hear the cello as well.
Well, I was going to talk about the school you got up there, because you're on the Central Coast, I think, aren't you? And you've got a school there with your husband. That's
right, yeah. So we actually have 2 really little schools. One is called Maestro Possums, and that's the preschool classes. So that's babies and toddlers up to age 4. And it's really that we felt that starting an instrument at age 4 or 5 or 6, perhaps that wasn't enough these days, and perhaps we had to bring families in and make sure that families started to understand the importance of music and how much it can be enjoyed as well, which is a really important thing. But it's also incredible for a young brain and a young developing brain. So that's been really rewarding seeing that. And then we've got the Fleury's Music School as well, which is where they get to learn an instrument.
I think it's wonderful what you're doing, and you're introducing kids at your age, at 4, when you start to play the cello. Any of these little ones showing any promise of going to cello, strings, piano?
Absolutely, yes. And once they're in the 3-year-old class, they start tapping out rhythm. So once they're sort of 3 or 4, I think the main thing is that they enjoy it. They don't know that it's work or hard.
That's right,
or
yes.
a chore, or, and they seem to really love it, and that's the key really, is that they all come in and can't wait to have their music lesson with everyone.
Well, Sally, music is supposed to be fun, isn't it? And if you can do that and get them introduced that way, they'll go on to greater things later.
I hope so. Yeah, that's the idea.
How did you pick the tracks for your CD? Tell me.
Well, with Toby Tad at the ABC, who's brilliant at programming, we came up with these tracks, and they had to be pieces of music that worked perfectly on the cello, that we didn't have to alter too much. And as we were going along, we had some fantastic arranges. Joe Twist arranged a lot of the pieces on here. And we found that they just sat so beautifully on the instrument. There was really very little in terms of the voice line, the line the cello plays, that needed changing at all. Although there are a couple of tracks where we overdubbed and I'm playing more than one part.
I noticed that.
Duos and trios.
That's right. You got a trio in there, I heard. Yes, it was beautiful.
That's right, yeah. So that was really fun. That was really fun to do. In terms of choosing music, it's sometimes difficult to know what not to put on an album.
That's right, yeah. Look, you've got lots of favourites in there. Toreador songs there from Carmen, Nessa Dorman, which I said we're going to play shortly. Time to Say Goodbye. Wasn't that the one you did the trio on?
Not that one, no. That was the Mozart.
That's right, Mozart it was. Yes,
yeah. There's the Flower Duet. That was I did both parts.
Yeah, and the Pearl Fisher's the duet too, wasn't it? Yeah.
The Pearl Fisher and the Persa Mio it's become one of my favourite pieces of music, the Monteverdi, and that's in 2 parts as well. That's really beautiful, that piece.
Well, that was from the opera, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
And that's just played in Melbourne 2 weeks ago. You'd be keen to hear. Yeah, Monteverdi's opera, yeah. And it went back 400 odd years, didn't it?
A very long time ago. But I think that's the incredible thing about music in general, is that's how long it can stand the test of time. 400 years.
That's right.
We're still playing that music and people are still enjoying it. I think it's incredible.
You've played with the Sydney Symphony, the Australian Ballet. You've even been on the Queen Mary II, and you've toured with Delta, I hear. Yes, Liza Minnelli, Tommy Lee Jones, Michael Bublé, Lionel Richie.
Oh, the memories are coming.
Any one of those is a favourite of yours that you played along with?
Oh, gosh. I mean, there's so many. I've been really lucky because I got to accompany all these people in various orchestras and little kind of backup bands and things. And, Liza Minnelli is someone that I think every musician looks up to, and she really, really does think about what would I want to see if I was in the audience. And I thought that was so interesting because at the time I was doing a lot of work on cruise ships and kind of experimenting, I guess, and seeing where I could take the cello and what environments I could take the cello in. And, I had to really think about what would I want to see, what would I be really happy to see if I was in the audience.
And that's how you did it. It's lovely. I'm going to play a little track in a minute as we say goodbye. But it is available now on ABC Classics. You can buy it by going online to the ABC shops. Any other shops we can get it from, or just the ABC? I
think you can pick it up at Sanity and JB Hi-Fi and all those places too.
Well, it's called Cello at the Opera, and it's by Sally Maer, Maer. And if you'd like to go and buy that, please do, or get online and look at the ABC shop, and ABC Classics is Cello at the Opera. Sally, great to talk to you today. Thank you for your time.
Lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much for having me.
And I hope your CD goes really, really well for you. I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
You take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye to you. My guest, Sally Maer.